mother, father has any merits, any benefits, and there is no anything called karma. They don't believe that there is another life. They don't believe that killing, stealing, and so forth has any unwholesome results. And also they believe that there are mendicant sages, saints who have practiced meditation and attained liberation or getting close to liberation and so forth. They don't believe in any of these things. They may have some very systematically trained minds which they believe in psychology, and that is the only thing that we should know about the mind and body, and various material things, I mean educated in various material things, and therefore they are called nihilist. And not only that, they don't believe in any karma or anything called religion. Eternalists, on the other hand, is that this life goes on and on and on indefinitely, and therefore each life they want to enjoy pleasure. They think that there is a very firmly established self in the body, feeling, perception, thought, and consciousness. And there is a whole series of beliefs regarding self, and therefore they try to, on the one hand, they try to enjoy this life, and at the same time they also have a very ethical, moral principles. They want to observe precepts. They believe supporting parents is a great meritorious deed. Supporting monastic beggars and those who need the needy ones also is meritorious, and practicing meditation is meritorious, and so forth. They want to enhance the qualities of their self and for their pleasure in this life as the last life after this. And they keep going on and on and on. They are actually relatively better than the other nihilists. Nihilists can be sometimes very dangerous because they don't respect for all these ethical, moral things. They do believe in respect of the society, associating with people. They know that they have to be nice and polite and so on. To that extent, they have a moral code, but not in the religious sense. So Buddha avoided these two because of the very danger of believing in both. Nihilists are what you call dukkha. No, nihilists are they are called Kamasukhallikanu yogi. They enjoy pleasure and think this is the only thing, only life, and they spend all their life to enjoy this life, and after that they will simply disappear. Earth element goes to earth element, water element goes to water element, fire element goes to fire element, air element goes to air element. That is the end of this life. Eternalists, on the other hand, in a way better because they have respect for parents and supporting them and so on. And they have very good intention of maintaining their moral, ethical principles for fear of falling, fear of being born in a woeful, painful state of existence. And yet they also can be engaged in self-mortification, because they might think that they can purify their life, overcome their, burn out all their previous unwholesome or wholesome karmas, and do not want to commit any new karmas, so that they can attain liberation very quickly by torturing, mortifying the body. And this is the danger in that. So Buddha wanted to avoid both. And in Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, avoiding both, he taught middle path. The middle path in Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta is the Noble Eightfold Path. But Buddha taught another middle path, which is called dependent origination. In the dependent origination middle path is not falling into this one extreme or the other, but seeing things coming into existence, and when something comes into existence, it necessarily goes out of existence. That is the formula of dependent origination. When this is, this is. When this arises, this arises. When this is not, this is not. When this passes away, this passes away. That means always two things happen almost simultaneously, concurrently. And therefore, there are 12 factors. We will discuss them maybe tomorrow. At least I can give the list of them during this series of little talks. So one, when one arises, other also arises at the same time. I can give you one example. When birth arises, death arises along with the birth. When birth ceases, death ceases. And in Mahanidana Sutta, he has given categories of beings that take birth, and when they are not there, that very concept of birth will not even exist. So only when something is there, other thing also is there. When birth is there, old age is there. We grow old only because we are born like that. So, so this is how it is. These two go together. Okay?
Thank you, Bhante. Bhante, thank you very much for the morning teaching. How does desire cause ignorance?
How does greeting causes ignorance? In the first place, when we are greedy, we don't see the pain that comes along with greed. Not seeing this connection is ignorance. And greed, by definition, cannot arise alone. It arises with ignorance. Greed is the clinging, craving factor. And its strength, danger is concealed in the greed. Danger is concealed. Danger is sort of camouflaged. So we don't know that ignorance is there. Because we are ignorant of the danger, we could try to perpetuate the greed. Okay? Now let us start our meditation first, and at the end, I continue answering your questions. For now, let us begin our metta practice. May all beings be happy and secure. May all beings have happy minds, whatever living beings there may be, without exception, weak or strong, long, large, medium, short, subtle or gross, visible or invisible, living near or far, born or coming to birth, may all beings have happy minds. Let no one deceive another, nor despise anyone anywhere. Neither from anger nor ill will should anyone wish harm to another. As a mother would risk her own life to protect her only child, even so towards all living beings, one should cultivate a boundless heart. One should cultivate for all the world a heart of boundless loving friendliness, above, below, and all around, unobstructed, without hate or resentment, whether standing, walking, sitting, lying down, or whenever awake. One should develop this mindfulness. This is called divinely dwelling here, not falling into erroneous views, but virtuous and endowed with vision, removing desires for sensual pleasures. One comes never again to birth in the womb. Friends, these are very wonderful, sincere wish that we all must cultivate. From sometimes we hear the feedback telling us how much this benefited them. Definitely the practice, metta, mindfulness and concentration, this combination is definitely very, very effective, not only this time but all the time. This time particularly because of this very unfortunate, very dangerous virus that has so far no control in our capacity. It is spreading very quickly all over the world, although there are few recovered, but the number of patients is increasing. And we want to increase our metta. We want to strengthen our metta to help these people to recover, and those who are not affected will not be affected. Those who are helping them continue their help. Those who are healthy support us in various ways, financially, physically, medically, and decision making and so on. They also uh, must be very, very healthy, and so we want to wish them all peace, happiness, and strength, courage, determination to overcome whatever difficulties they may encounter. With this very noble thought in mind, let us focus our mind on our breathing. Let the breath flow in and out without trying to control it, verbalize it, or conceptualize it, and then pay attention to it without thinking of the past, future, but just keep the mind totally focused on this practice, metta, and the breath. So while breathing in, pay total attention to the breath without using words. Notice inhaling as inhaling, exhaling as exhaling. Notice the pause between inhaling and exhaling. Then notice the feeling of breath. Notice the perception of breath. Notice the thought of breath and consciousness of the breath. Noticing them breathe in and breathe out. They happen as we breathe in and out. For instance, every moment we breathe in, feeling arises, perception arises, thought arises, consciousness arises. When we breathe out, again feeling, perception, thought, and consciousness arises. So these are repetitive. They repeat again and again as we breathe in and out, and yet they arise and pass away, arise and pass away. One, when something arises, it definitely passes away. When we see this very natural, real phenomena, the truth, our mind becomes very clear of the reality. Then the breath becomes relaxed, mind becomes relaxed, body becomes relaxed. Then our hindrances, greed, resentment, restlessness and worry, sleepiness and drowsiness, and doubt about what we are experiencing, the benefit and the results of practice, we immediately experience. Therefore, we may not have any doubt with regard to this very wonderful practice. And then mind gains concentration, overcoming all these five hindrances. As the mind gains in concentration, we also experience this very wonderful uh, development, that is letting go of greed, resentment, confusion, and so forth. And then we experience uh, compassion, friendliness, joy, happiness, concentration arising from being secluded ourselves for a short period of time. And then we gain better concentration. With this concentration, we can see all our minor or subtle changes that makes our practice even very soft, gentle, peaceful, and we experience great deal of comfort. With this, I want to observe silence during this short meditation, and I like all of you to practice the way I suggested, and then you will see the benefit for yourself. Dukkha patta ca niddukkha, bhaya patta ca nibhaya, soka patta ca nisoka, hontu de pipanino. May the suffering be free from suffering. May the fear struck be free from fear. May the grieving be free from grief. So too may all beings be. This, once again, friends, is a very sincere, earnest wish that we want all suffering beings to be free. These days, there is additional suffering. Patients who are affected by this COVID-19 have more suffering. In addition to universal truth of suffering, this also is added. Their relatives, friends, spouses, dependents, and so on also suffer either from knowing that their friends, relatives, spouses have this virus, and also meeting the reality of their losing, passing away, and all need our metta. Collectively, we all together concurrently share this metta as one unit, one body, strength. And also we at the same time must wish those who are supporting them in many ways, medical professionals, their assistants, those who are financially and otherwise supporting them, and also those who make decision to make various changes, adjustments. We want to be very soft, gentle, kind, and have wisdom to make right decision to help all of them. So we all collectively must wish them to be free from pain, suffering, and return to their regular life without any sickness and live long in good health. Now with this we end the meditation practice for this evening, and then now you can ask me further questions on the topic that we started this morning.
Dear Bhante, could you speak about the simile of the snake in more detail, the
Well,
meaning of it in more detail?
yes, those who catch snakes have to be very careful, mindful to catch them at right place so that they will not turn around and strike them, hurt them, causing their either death or deadly sickness. The way to catch them is to hold them with a fork, stick with fork while the neck, press them down and then catch them and get the venom. Actually, snake venom is used for various treatments. Similarly, this Dhamma, if we incorrectly understood Dhamma wrongly, incorrectly, then that Dhamma can cause us harm. Although Dhamma is a very wonderful remedy for all our sickness, especially mental distress, disappointment, anger, resentment, and all the defilements uh, can be overcome by learning using Dhamma. Dhamma is a cure we recite every day. Out of all medicines in the world, Dhamma is the best medicine. Therefore, monks drink this Dhamma and having used this Dhamma, be free from defilements and attain full enlightenment or liberation. This medicine, Dhamma medicine, if we misuse, abuse, can cause us harm. For instance, even in the time of the Buddha, even today, somebody may think that this consciousness is reborn again and again in every life in samsara, same consciousness. Thinking that is a wrong thinking, a wrong understanding, incorrect understanding. This will perpetuate their confusion, and therefore it will be very difficult for them to liberate from suffering. Similarly, when one misunderstood the Dhamma in other ways, cause some confusion and suffering. So Dhamma has to be understood correctly. In order to understand Dhamma correctly, one must listen to Dhamma attentively, remember it very clearly, and then investigate the Dhamma mindfully. And we do not swallow every word, every concept, every teaching in the Buddha's dispensation without investigating, without questioning. Questioning is a very healthy sign from coming from sound mind to understand the meaning of whatever is not very clear. so that our understanding Dhamma becomes clear. Only then can we put that Dhamma into practice. Just like catching snake. Very carefully, you can extract venom without hurting yourself. Of course, among snakes, there are some that are very, very dangerous. Similarly, Dhamma can be if misunderstood, can hurt us. Not only in this life, I mentioned this morning, if a snake bites, the victim suffers in this life, and that person cannot transport it or infect another person. When you are suffering from a snake bite, it is not contagious to spread all around. But if we misunderstood the Dhamma, the truth, then not only we suffer, and we contaminate others as well. In other words, we will poison others' minds as well. When we poison our mind by misunderstanding Dhamma, we not only therefore suffer in this life, but we suffer in many, many lives to come. So it is far more dangerous than the snake bite. And therefore we have to be very mindful and careful when we understand Dhamma to avoid all misunderstanding, misinterpretation. There is a famous example. There is a statement which says, Vinaseti Vinaseti asaddham saddham vaddheti sasane evam me sutamichevam vadang gotama savaka. The mistranslation is that I have heard that the teaching of the Buddha destroys, Buddha's teaching destroys those who do not have faith and increase the faith in the dispensation. Here, the person has translated asaddham to mean those who do not believe. So the person translates it, those who do not believe in the dispensation will be destroyed, and those who believe in the dispensation will be saved. That is mistranslation. Actually, the word asaddham doesn't mean the person who doesn't believe. Asaddham means the disbelief. The dispensation destroy disbelief and increase the belief. It is not the Dhamma does not destroy the person, but destroy the disbelief. So without understanding the proper Pali word, the translator, if says that dispensation will destroy the person who does not believe, that is totally wrong. Similarly, there are some, stanzas, some statements like Matarang Pitarang Hantwa, Rajano Bechakatye, Rattang Sanutarang Hantwa, Anibhoyati Brahmano. In the Dhammapada, there is a stanza which is Matarang Pitarang. It's a superficial literal translation can be Matarang, mother, Pitarang, father, Hantwa, having killed. Rajano Dvejakatya, the king, and two warriors. Rattang Sanutarang, the country with its population. If somebody destroy all of them, that person can attain liberation very safely. That is the superficial meaning. But the real meaning, so one can understand, misunderstand, misinterpret, and can kill the mother, kill the father, and so on. But the real meaning is, Matarang is greed, Pitarang is ignorance, uh, uh, Rajano is, Raja means king, king means the great Michyaditi, wrong view, wrong belief. Ratta means the whole life, and retinues or Raja, the people in the country are the rest of the aggregates here. And when one destroy ignorance, destroy craving, destroy wrong views, and destroy the attachment to all aggregates, one can liberate oneself from suffering. That is the meaning. So if one does not understand properly, that person mistranslates it and can cause lot of harm to oneself and others. And therefore, understanding the Dhamma is absolutely necessary for gaining liberation. That is the snake simile. In that discourse, there is another simile that also is very important to remember. That is the simile of raft. Suppose somebody seeing peril or danger on this shore, he wants to cross a body of water, maybe vast, very wide river, to go to the other shore to save his life. So this person come to the bank of the river and find no boat, no bridge. Therefore, he find twigs and branches and leaves and put all of them together and tie them together and jump onto it, and with the help of his hands and legs, he crossed the body of water and saved his life. After that, if he were to carry the raft on his shoulder to show his gratitude, Buddha asked, would he be doing the right thing? The monk said, no, Venerable Sir. What should he do? What is the right thing he should do? Right thing is either leave the raft on the shore or let it float in the water instead of carrying it on the shoulder. Similarly, when we learn the Dhamma, practice Dhamma, and want to liberate, yet if we become attached to Dhamma, then we defeat our very purpose of following the Dhamma. And Buddha said, Dhamma pi pahatabba pageva adhamma. Because even this Dhamma, we should let go of this Dhamma, let alone adhamma, that means wrong Dhamma. If we become attached to Dhamma, friends, when we are thinking that this Dhamma is so wonderful, so helpful, it liberates me, it is the only thing I know, I want to know, and so forth and so on, and try to cling to Dhamma, we will be religious fanatics. That is what many religious fanatics do. In order to protect their religion, they even can kill other people. That has happened in the history of history of religions. So people with great attachment to their own religion, beliefs, they go on destroying, insulting, accusing, blaming, killing other beings in various ways. It has happened in human history. And therefore Buddha said we have to be very mindful and careful when we practice Dhamma. We have to use it mindfully. Buddha said, Kumbhupamang kājamang viditva nagarupamang chittamidanta petva yodeta maram panyayadena jitancha rakke anivesanosya. Knowing this body like a pot, clay pot, knowing the mind like a city, fight the Mara with wisdom weapon, and protect what you gain without being attached to it. Normally in a regular war, when you fight and claim certain area, you send more garrison, more soldiers to protect what you have won. In this teaching of the Buddha, you learn the Dhamma, put it into practice, and when you gain liberation, don't become attached to it. Don't try to dwell upon it. Let Dhamma be there. That is not your possession, not your heritage. So you have no any particular right to hold on to Dhamma. If you hold on to Dhamma, you will no longer be liberated from suffering. And for these reasons, these two similes in Alagaddupa Sutta's next simile discourse in Majjhima Nikaya are very, very important to remember. And this is how we practice middle path, paticca samuppada, without falling into one extreme or the other. So I want to end this, and thank you very much for asking this question. And friends, once again, I want to conclude this session wishing not only good night to everybody, but also everyone be free from suffering, pain, and liberate from samsara, attain enlightenment, and in this life live in long with good health and attain liberation. Thank you and good night.